All right, welcome everybody to another session of Whispers in the Woods. We had to take a little bit of a break from just schedule stuff as well as the introduction of some new characters. But we're back now, so we will try to ease back into things. Bookkeeping wise for the channel, I don't think we have anything in particular. Thank you guys for showing up yesterday. That was very nice. You were all very well behaved, and we boosted Tavernaut over 100 follows, so that was nice. That was single handedly just us who did that. So thank you for that, you guys. And yeah, the sessions of that campaign will be starting next week on Tuesdays. So the first half of my weeks, yeah, it's all we're just infiltrating his corporation. That's what we're doing. This is a hostile takeover. First, we just got to get some stocks. But yeah, so that campaign will be starting next Tuesday, which will make the first half of my weeks a little more busy. But luckily, I don't have to prep too much for being a player, so should be okay. As for other bookkeeping, I don't think there's any particular cancellations for the other sessions, so we should probably have a Seas of Sand on Sunday, unless anything changes. Most likely around 7. But yeah. So I suppose we'll start with a previously, though it'll be interrupted a little bit, but we'll start with a previously. So what is currently occurring in Whispers in the Woods is the party, after learning that they have been sort of selected by fate to be fair folk champions on behalf of fey creatures of Keltahera, had to sort of put together a bit of a plan in how to infiltrate the lair of Beira, the woman who had not only hired assassins to kill the party, but was putting in motion plans to effectively kill tons and tons of Fae, using the black mold that they had seen throughout the land on their travels. Now they learned sort of how to get there, but had to sort of get their things in order before they went. And on the last session, Martos became rather smitten, obsessed with a certain flying squirrel who she attempted to capture, and then realized that the flying squirrel already had an owner, a little fairy who was looking for her missing pet, and rather than taking the perhaps, I guess, morally upstanding direction of simply returning the pet to the owner and receiving a reward for it, they decided to kidnap the pet, upon which it attempted to escape. And when the fairy saw her pet and was about to take it back, Martos opted to double down, I suppose, and threw a javelin straight through the heart of that fairy, killing her instantly. And so Martos, upon realizing that she had done probably something rather significantly damaging to her status as protector of the Fae, realized that part of her her sigil on her hand, her symbol of representing the Fae, started to fade. And as it started to fade, it was corrupted. Something took advantage of the opportunity that it saw before it and began to corrupt that symbol for evil, beginning to cover her arm in that same rot. To which Martos opted to, rather than be fully corrupted, she decided to cut her own arm off. But still wanting to double down on keeping Martin, the flying squirrel, which its name was not Martin, but that was what she named it. Her and Draven decided to escape from Upper Loft by jumping off one of the rope bridges into the trees below, to hopefully avoid any sort of investigation that the Fae did into who murdered one of their own. And so Martos and Draven departed, heading off into the forest. Draven sort of dragging Martos as she had knocked herself out from the fall. But they retreated with Martin still kidnapped in their backpack. So they opted to depart. And so I spoke with the players, and they decided that they would, rather than trying to come up with some sort of way that Martos and Draven could still be involved after such a significant change in events, they opted instead to depart and roll new characters. So they have done so, but we haven't actually really had much of a chance to really talk about the new characters. So I thought, rather than jumping immediately right into things, I thought we'd instead discuss a little bit about the characters and things like that, because since they're arriving kind of so late into things, I figured we should talk about them a little bit so that they're a little more familiar than just walking right in. Plus, there's some questions that I have to ask, because I have not had all the information that I might need to try to fix this. So moving along to things, we've got our new characters in the campaign on D&D Beyond, and it's good you guys have claimed them. I will deactivate Martos for you, so that you can.
You.
And I'll deactivate Draven too, just so that they're both in that same category there.
Yeah, he should be unassigned. It might just need a bit
Yeah.
of update.
No, he was unassigned, but there's two different categories. There's unassigned characters that can be claimed, and there's deactivated characters that go down in gray at the bottom.
I'm claiming Draven.
So I'll just try to streamline it.
Does it, if they're unclaimed and not deactivated, does it put it into the encounter thing whenever you go to?
Well, it just places them in their own category. I was just trying to streamline it.
Gotcha.
So that
No, he's doing it so I don't claim Draven.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want anyone to steal Draven. But yeah, so I have their character sheets a little bit, because we haven't talked too much about their backstories. So I want to kind of implement them in a way that makes sense to you guys. So we can kind of do some loose discussion with that. You don't have to say absolutely everything if you don't want to, as I know sometimes players prefer things to come up in game, but I will kind of need a little bit of a gist to be able to relatively elegantly incorporate the characters. For chat's reference, this is all a little bit last minute, seeing as we literally had a name change like as I was sitting here with the stream live.
Hey guys.
So it is a little bit last minute, but that's why I wanted to take the first part of the stream to just make sure that things go relatively smoothly, and that I don't make any decisions for you guys. This is collaborative storytelling after all. So does one of you want to go first, or should I just pick?
This is whatever. Pick.
Pick.
Well, I'm already on Lola's sheet, so we're gonna go with that.
All right, Lola it is, whose name just got changed.
Yeah, I had to go and switch that over. Also, here's a poll for you, chat, for you to vote on. But yeah, so here's Lola Pokey's character sheet. You guys can correct me on pronunciations. Anything that you want to specifically. Pokey? Okay, good.
Pookie!
Man.
Her name was Pokey like 10 minutes ago, but now it is Lola, and the last name is Pokey. Gotcha.
I couldn't decide.
That's all good. I don't mind. It's something like that is small. I just had to. It's just that I found it funny because I had to go flip it over in Roll20 because I was like, I had the stream loaded and I was just sitting here like, all right, yeah, we're ready to go, and then I refreshed your page and it's got a new name.
Well, also changed her freaking college too at the last minute, and I was like, no.
Oh, did you change
different.
that too?
Yeah, I went instead of glamour, I went with lore. At the very last minute, I've been thinking about it all week, and at the very end, I was like, "We're gonna."
When did you change that?
Literally, like just now, maybe like 5 minutes ago.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wasn't quite planned.
Alrighty. Well, that's all right. So I don't know if you wrote anything in particular.
We got some background.
Yeah, you can go over that with us if you want.
Cool, because I already wrote it down.
Nice.
Oh, her name is still Pokey. Hold on. I'll fix all that later. Basic. My little Lola is a small, precious bean. She don't cuss. We're gonna see how that goes. She's a pure of heart. She was born in a small little community, right? Always wanted to see the outside world. She got all these lore, all these stories told to her. And she's like, fuck yeah, dude. Oh, frick yeah, dude. I want to be a part of that. And so one day she sees this moss and she's like, this is my chance to leave. I can go. No one can stop me because who else is going to save this place? None of y'all. She's like, I'm going to go. I'm going to go save this place. I'm going to figure out what this stuff is because it killed my chicken. I'm kind of upset about that.
Very well.
And then she killed her chicken. She was very upset. And then she left behind her mother and her little sister, Mary.
Okay.
And now she's off exploring, and she loves giants. I don't know why. I have a thing for giants for her, I guess.
Very well.
And she is a cow. I made her into a cow.
So, you said small community. Is there anywhere in particular you want that small community to be located? Because I know we talked a while back.
No idea.
About potentially Revel Ridge, because that's sort of off to the west of where the party currently is. And it's sort of relatively close, so it makes sense for you to travel there. It has some ties to Upper Loft, so there's a bit of history there. It's satyrs, centaurs, and fawns in that kind of area is Revel Ridge.
I'm totally fine wherever she lives. I just didn't know any like small little communities.
Yeah, it could just be
isolated.
I guess it could just be a smaller kind of village outside of Revel Ridge, which is a larger kind of area.
Like Bogrest?
Bogrest. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. And so current sort of character goal is attempting to figure out more about the black mold and
avenge her chicken.
And avenge her chicken.
What's her chicken's name?
That's another good question.
Medusa.
Yeah.
What?
I named her after Medusa.
Medusa.
Ooh, nice.
I'm just imagining like a chicken with like 9 chicken heads.
She was very dumb, but I loved her very much.
Very appropriate with what's going on in Seas of Sand right now. All right. So that's relatively easy to work into. College of Laura, you said, right?
Yep, she loves stories. She wants to know everything, but she's kind of dumb, but that's okay. She'll get
Gotcha.
there.
And obviously for reference, I don't think we outright said it, but Bard, obviously.
Definitely a bard.
You picked some got some proficiencies in lute, bagpipes, and lyres.
Definitely the bagpipe, yes.
Is there like a particular instrument she would use most often?
Um, something. I think she has a flute, but I didn't give her that as. Oh yeah, a flute. She likes her flute the best, but she's
Okay.
mad good on bagpipes.
All right, yeah, that works. Okay, so traveling sort of east towards Upper Loft to get some more information. I think that would work, yeah. Alright, then let's quickly cover the other character.
Alright, so Queely.
Yeah, I was going to
is
ask about
my-
pronunciation.
Yeah, it's a Cherokee word for horse.
Gotcha, makes sense.
Yeah. His name's Soquili. He's a centaur, Oath of the Ancients paladin, so he's focused on. 1 second.
Yes, a centaur
sorry.
character.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that was what I wanted to wonder, or that's what I was wondering about. Centaurs in your world, like I had him just kind of written as like a nomad, wandering Keltaira. But if there's a certain area that you would feel that it would be appropriate for him to be from originally, that would be good.
Yeah, so essentially the way that I kind of have centaurs currently, as we haven't really dealt with them too much, you are the first centaur character in the living world, player character.
Nice.
So essentially the way that I have them is that similar, they tend to kind of group up with satyrs and fauns and that kind of race mix there, but they tend to be less common, and sort of have a bit more of a nomadic lifestyle. Some of them will settle, but not all of them. That's why you don't really see like a huge population of centaurs within a place like Revelwood. You might see a couple who decided to stay when the rest of the group moved on. They're sort of like nomadic herds, if you will.
Right.
So you could kind of find them really anywhere as long as they were traveling. They would typically probably not spend a massive amount of time in cities. They would more trade with smaller villages, and then move along. So anywhere from kind of grasslands, if you want them to kind of have been born in a specific area, but it doesn't particularly matter. They can be from really anywhere. So grasslands, there's a grassland kind of to the west. If you pull up the world info, I could also hang on. Do we still have that map here?
I'm looking at the map of Keltaira.
Yeah, perfect. I forgot that we had one in here. It's been a while since we looked at it. So there's Sendros Fields would have a lot of like roving centaur gangs, nomadic sort of tribes of centaurs moving through there, through the valleys, and then also Athentari Plains as well. So you can sort of pick where you were born, but they would have moved around a lot. So it's not particularly like a specific place that you'd be from.
Okay, then yeah, probably spent a lot of his time around the Sendrios field, but also wandered around Keltaira.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see, what else about him? Like I said, I was going for the class, the Guardian of Nature, so I was wanting him to kind of notice the spreading black mold and kind of pick up on that and look for solutions there. Possibly a way he could have met the party through that.
Okay. Now, something that the black mold is also causing within the Whisperweld is wild magic surges. the death of trees that sort of keep everything steady within the Whisperwild is making that sort of thin veil that separates the Feywild and the material plane a little more thin than it usually is, and so there's all sorts of strange occurrences even within the Whisperwild, and it's sort of spreading a little further beyond as things become a little bit unstable within the Whisperwild than they would usually be. So you could, instead of even the black mold, you could be investigating wild magic surges, and that gives us a really good segue.
Sure, that's perfect.
Very well. All right, pike as main weapon, I think.
Yeah, just a massive stick.
Very well.
Whooping stick.
And then divine smites, all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, Valbel's got another Oath of the Ancients friend now. Alrighty. All works out. Immune to disease.
Just don't give me any ladders to climb. Good God,
Exactly. Yeah, I was literally,
Fuck.
I was literally scrolling past Equin build on that too. Yeah, I was thinking about that before when I saw you making Centaur. I'm like, where did I place any climbs?
I already had to like imagine the logistics of how it would work so I could describe it. So.
That's a hard right from your previous Spider-Man.
Yep.
I had that exact same thought too. Yeah, as guy who is impossibly good at climbing immediately shifts right into guy who is absolutely terrible at it.
Yeah, keep my RP on its toes.
Hey, I mean, you're really good at getting hit in your other character, so, but now that you have a higher AC, it's better. Since everyone just wanted to attack you for some reason.
He was hittable.
Alrighty. Okay, so the two of you moving in, both sort of from the western side potentially, moving east towards Upper Loft. You could have the two of you having met if you want to show up together. That is an option.
I'm fine with that.
I'll leave it up to you guys.
I will tell you all about Medusa on the walk to the moss map, whatever the
Okay.
fuck it is. Yes, you will learn all about Medusa.
Goodkin.
Sequili won't share much about himself. He'll just listen very intently to what you're saying.
It's okay, Lola talks a lot, so she'll just go right over it. She won't even notice.
I'm just waiting for the number of times you like curse and you're like, wait, nope, she didn't say that.
I know, I'm really worried about that, but like I'm working on it. We're gonna be PG here.
Well, you do have cutting words.
You think snickerdoodle?
I hope you have a bad day.
You're
I
not
hope
my
you
friend
stub your toe.
anymore. Oh.
You're short.
I don't like your
Get ready for
haircut.
some insult. Oh.
All right. So, Upper Loft is kind of like there-ish. Oh, sorry. You guys aren't here. I'll bring you. All right, everybody, come with me. Herds everyone into the next room. So Upper Loft is kind of here-ish. And you guys would be kind of moving, Revel Ridge being on this far side, kind of near Sendrios Field. So at some point, so Queely moving from Sendrios Field over into the Whisperwield would run into Lola. and then continue their travels through the Whisperweald. The two of them having a bit of an easier time than the party did in their initial little trip into this forest, because the two of you are technically considered fair folk, so the forest would not give you nearly as much trouble, and you sort of inherently can navigate it without having to make all those difficult navigation checks.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, you'd arrive kind of in the area near Upper Loft. As for the other two, Draven and Martos disappear off the side of that bridge. So I would be curious as to what the two of you would immediately do after that.
So Draven's priority was getting Martos not dead, since she was knocked out. So getting far away from here would be probably the first thing.
Yeah, I think we said sort of the opposite direction. Originally, you were like you were going to head towards the Thornwoods, but decided against that. Instead, moving elsewhere just to kind of remove them from accidentally running into the party again.
Mm-hmm.
So either east or south would be a viable direction. Martos, even though Martos is unconscious, you can still add your 2 cents if you really want to, because at a certain point you would wake up, and Draven would probably still have to help you along the way a little bit as you're injured, but you'd wake up at a certain point and be able to add your 2 cents as to what direction to head. So I probably either south or east or some mix of the two.
Well, south is towards Bullgrass, isn't it?
What's that?
Is south towards Bullgrass, the swampy area?
Yeah, eventually you'd have to go all the way back through Triella.
We should go avoid the swamp.
You want
I
to go
also
to
murdered
Blueberry?
somebody there. I know. Let's avoid Blueberry. I murdered somebody there, so we have to
Yep.
go. So
It would be
new
sort of.
home.
You would eventually get back to Bogrest, but you could definitely avoid Bogrest if you really wanted to. Directly south would be leaving the Whisperweald, going back into the Dryad Woods, and then arriving eventually at Lysindriel again. Moving east would bring you to Snakemouth Valley, or if you wanted to go slightly north, you'd go to sort of a dead forest, heading towards mountains. But heading through Snakemouth Valley would eventually roll you all the way back around to Athentari Plains, and then eventually Hanatuaria.
Yeah, I'd say east then.
It is. Blueberry would never love me with one arm.
Oh.
She didn't love you with 2.
She loved me. She talked to me. I mean, she talked to Martos. She didn't talk to me. No.
All right. Well, I think that makes sense. So you'll be traveling there for a while. It'll take you a little bit to get out of the Whisperweald, a little bit to go through Snakemouth Valley. Probably just going south of the Serhitha Highlands, so heading just straight to Athentari, along the banks of the Inner Sea. And eventually, Athentari isn't incredibly dangerous because there's lots of merchants that move through there, so you'd probably be relatively safe traveling Athentari. If you're not going too far towards the Sky Splitters in Snakemouth Valley, then you probably wouldn't die of anything as long as you're being careful. And then eventually to Hanatoria. So we'll write that as your projected path. And then I guess depending how much time passes between right now, and the next group that goes to Hanatoria, maybe you guys will show up. I'm just going to jot that down so that I have it in my notes. Draven and Martos to Hanatuaria. Alrighty. Now, the other two. Presuming that the two of you still want to continue with your quest as you haven't rolled new characters. Draven and Martos make a hasty escape, attempting to avoid any sort of repercussions for the brazen murder that they've just committed. So I don't know if we want to necessarily do a extended RP of everything that occurs after that, as I think it would just take a really long time, and so Queelia and Lola wouldn't be involved in that. So as long as you guys are okay with just sort of moving a little bit past it and kind of doing a bit of a time skip to several days later, then I am too. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now, there are some things that I need to determine just so that we can figure out where to go from here. The House of the Cloven Hoof, who sort of take over the kind of more serious side of Upper Loft, because the sprites are too mischievous to handle it. The fairies are a little too aloof, and the dryads are prone to bickering. The Clovenhoof house tends to handle these sorts of matters, so they would be the ones who would be doing any sort of investigation. So very likely, as you guys were there, they would be asking you a bunch of questions. So most likely that guard that showed up before would be asking you guys some questions about what occurred. So I would just like to know what you would tell the satyr guards when they ask what happened.
Well, Wits would very much distance him from Mardos and Draven. Like acting like he just met them like a day before this.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to make it seem more like they did this on their own and that it wasn't him involved at all.
Yeah, I don't think that the satyrs would have any particular reason to think that that was a lie, as they haven't known you for very long either, and they wouldn't really know how friendly you guys are. So yeah, I think they would believe that without you needing to make a deception check.
Sybil, I think, she hasn't met a lot of people who were close to her in her life, and I think she'd be like more hesitant to immediately distance herself from Mardos and Draven, even after doing that.
Fair.
But I think she'll probably notice what Wits is doing and go along with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Which would have given them Mardos' arm.
Again, I'll transfer over Wits' lie to you, since you're not differing from his story. There's no reason they would suspect that you're lying, so you don't need to make a deception roll either.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing that you're going to have to do is Holly is going to ask you guys to attend the funeral.
Oh. Oh.
Now I won't RP that all out because it would require me to change a bunch of the maps and stuff. So
as a show of friendship, Wits will provide like a nice painting of her with the minor minor illusion.
All right, yeah.
Part of minor illusion probably be like silent image so it could stay longer.
It's a tiny little coffin.
Big image.
So yeah, that happens about a day or two after this all occurs, and all the different houses of Upper Loft are there.
Where did they bury them? We're like 100 feet up in the air.
All the fairies, as well as a bunch of the other races from the other houses, show up to pay their respects. But yeah. Yeah, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Ruby. I don't know if we would say that, Sybil. He's not their squirrel, but they do have him.
More like under new management.
What little level of sentience does he have, I wonder?
I mean, not high, because speak to animals didn't work.
He was a little dumb. Yeah. He wasn't exactly very intelligent.
That means theoretically Barry's smarter than him. Because we at least got something out of Barry with speak with animals.
Barry is actually relatively intelligent because he follows orders to the T, so he's actually kind of smart.
Good soldiers follow orders.
I have the better pet.
Possession is 9/10 of the law. Good point. Alrighty. So, a few days later, Wits and Sybil, you have been rather intensely questioned by the satyrs as to what happened, but they at first were a little bit suspicious because you were with the two who suddenly disappeared after the murder, but eventually, after you insist for quite some time that you didn't have anything to do with it, and Holly also adds that she was with you when it happened and she didn't see you guys do anything, so she sort of speaks up on your behalf as well, that you didn't have anything to do with it. And so at a certain point, they let you go. Then you attend a funeral with a bunch of rather weepy fairies. And so the two of you, where would you guys want to stay? Because two groups offered you places to stay. You can stay with the satyrs, or you can stay with the dryads. It's up to you.
Probably the dryads, because the satyrs would probably be
Yeah,
more
fair enough.
It's got the
hostile.
grilling us.
Fair enough. All right, I'm just gonna bring you there then, and that's where we'll start.
They're just gonna like wake us up in the middle of the night. So where were you?
All right, so these are the Dryad Lodgings. And you guys, hang on, actually, one sec. There we go. That's better. So, you two can tell me what room you would pick. As the dryads, as I said, they have this ability to meld with the tree that is sort of their connected tree, as each of them has a connection to a tree. But some of these trees are unaffiliated with dryads, as not every single tree has a dryad. And so you can pick which room you feel would best resonate with you, as these most of the dryads are down in the forest below, so they have a lot of empty rooms for you.
And I wonder which room would
really
most
dig
feel like
that
with Mardos.
Ooh.
I wonder which room.
And so yeah, the rooms are themed differently based on the tree that's growing within them. So you guys can just sort of pick a room.
There's a pine tree down here.
Yes, this one right here is a like an evergreen. There's one with a little pond in it. One that's kind of more jungle-like. One that just, as you walk into the room, you feel like you just completely switch seasons as you walk into fall. One that has sand instead of grass, and a palm tree growing within it. And one that has a mushroom and all sorts of fungi growing within it. So yeah, it's really up to you guys which one you would like to stay in. Each of the rooms, instead of a bed, has sort of a hammock woven from plant fibers, strung between the wall and the tree that is dedicated to the room.
Let's probably pick this one.
The pine one?
I like that
Yeah.
one.
All right, then yeah, drag yourself down there.
Enderman teleport sound.
Oh, alright, my roll 20 is freaking out.
All good. All right. So getting actually back into the actual play, several days have passed since Draven and Martos' departure, and so the two of you attended a funeral in the morning, sort of at the hour when the trees are sort of refracting all those colors through them. And since they sort of asked you to wake up early for it, perhaps you took a little bit of a nap after to just kind of stay well rested, as the satyrs have been rigorously asking you lots of questions and keeping you up a little bit. And so you feel a little exhausted from that. But after making your way back to your rooms and taking a brief little nap, the two of you are rudely awoken by the voice of a dryad running down the hall. And then, as she knows which rooms you're in, she just kind of stops. You hear kind of heavy breathing behind this door, and then a loud knocking on your door, Sybil.
Yeah, I got it. What is it?
And as you open the door, you see one of the dryads who you hadn't really seen before. And she's a little bit out of breath as she walks. You can see that she looks a little bit different than the other dryads, where the other ones had sort of leaves and vines and stuff for hair. She instead has fungi growing across her. And as she stands there catching her breath, you're the folk who are working for the elders, right?
Yeah.
Well, listen, there's a wild magic surge out in the woods, just sort of a little bit south, a little bit west of here. She's kind of desperately trying to catch her breath and speaking through it.
Okay, wait. Wild magic surge? What exactly is happening?
The forest around here, you probably noticed it's enchanted, right? All sorts of magical effects, all sorts of strange plants growing. Well, sometimes the forest gets a little unstable. You see, it's actually been getting more and more unstable recently.
Yeah. Okay. So
The black mold growing is causing some of the terrain to warp outside of even beyond the Whisperwell.
Oh, okay. We need to. Oh, 1 second. It's.
So just kind of like mumbled to himself, open the door. Oh, hey, what do you want this time?
It's not the satyrs again. There's a problem.
When is that not?
This one is I'll let it's a problem with mold and with a lot of wild magic. Sorry, I'll let you go.
As you were kind of talking to Wits, she was just sort of bent double, catching her breath. And once she's caught it and you sort of default to her, she says, apologies, I don't believe we've met. I'm Mycelia.
All right, nice to meet you. He's just kind of like barely awake.
I don't mean to disturb you two, but there's been a wild magic surge in the forest just southwest of here. And well, when the forest gets unstable, well, anything can happen. A wild magic surge, you don't know what's going to happen. It could empower even the black mold.
All right. Just slow down. We'll go check it out, I guess.
I apologize. I didn't know who to ask. The satyrs usually handle this sort of thing, but they've been so busy lately with, looking for the murderers.
Yeah.
So I thought, since you two had been entrusted by the elders, that I would turn to you.
Okay, how urgent is this? Should we be going like right now?
Well, as soon as possible. I know you've been entrusted to some other task by the elders, but if this isn't stopped, then it could worsen everything.
All right, Wits, how ready are you?
Ready enough, I guess.
Okay, then let's get cracking. Where is it exactly again?
Oh, also, Jay, real quick, I assume we would have long rest by at some point because I
Course,
never
course.
prepared my new spouse.
Yeah, of course.
I
It's
figured.
been several days. You got a long rest. Go ahead and do that.
I'll do that while walking.
Of course, yeah. Take care of that. She kind of walks a little bit with you, and just sort of begins to kind of outline the general area. Again, south and west of here. She seems a little bit kind of panicky. She's describing in the past all sorts of things that have happened when wild magic surges have occurred. She describes that entire sections of the forest have just swapped places. She describes entire sections of the forest just completely turning to glass, including all of the creatures within them. She describes all sorts of strange and occasionally horrific occurrences when wild magic surges are left unchecked. And she actually focuses in a little bit on the two of you, actually, both of you, as she's asking you questions about your magical capabilities. Sorry, I'm just setting up the next map. I forgot I had to go and delete Marta's and Draven from every map.
Gone, reduced to atoms.
And so as she sort of walks out back into the Dryad Gardens with you, she's just saying, the two of you, you carry staffs and books, and you're spellcasters, yes?
He's more of a spellcaster, but yes.
Okay, good, because that's exactly what we need. If you aren't a spellcaster, then it's rather difficult to seal up a magic surge like this. And she's just kind of walking with you, and in the general direction back towards the elevator that you originally took up here. And you pass by some of the other arguing dryads, bickering about something entirely different today. And each of the days you've been here, every time you pass them, they have a new topic of argument. And so eventually you arrive back at the elevators. Actually, let me copy the three of you. Perfect. Yeah, balcony. When they first met these three dryads, they were the three of them here were arguing over which one of them is the most attractive and made the party settle the matter. So yeah, definitely don't tell them that. They settled on Dindelia here being the most attractive. That was their answer.
Which didn't.
Yeah, which did not, but the others. All right, there you go.
Which played the neutral card.
So you walk with Mycelia over towards the elevator as she frantically describes more things that have occurred when magic surges are left unchecked. Eventually arriving back at the elevator. Nope. And as you arrive at it, she pulls a lever and it lurches beneath you, and that sort of rickety pulley system begins to lower the three of you back down through this tree trunk down towards the lower level where you first arrived at Upper Loft. And as you arrive, you see that guard who was originally out front just sort of eye you and give a small little nod as you pass by, escorted by Mycelia out towards, down the steps and out of the massive tree trunk. And once you kind of arrive here, she begins to sort of describe the terrain to the southwest, giving you directions about trees to follow. But the two of you now no longer being affected by the sort of strange navigation of the woods, as you are both bearing the restored and connected sigil. Will not have nearly as much trouble navigating the woods as you did once. So you do not need a Fey guide as you once did. She's kind of points you in the right direction, and then says, "I can go with you, but if there's something dangerous, I'm not much of a fighter."
No need to worry. We can handle it ourselves. Just point us in the right direction.
All right. And then she kind of finishes off, kind of almost drawing like a little bit of a sketch, giving you a few little waypoints, a rock that is shaped like a bullfrog, and then a specific tree with a specific blend of colors in its leaves, one that's taller than the others. She kind of gives you these little waypoints to travel. But she says, once you get close, there's no way you can possibly miss it. They look like geysers of multicolored light. They shoot up from the very forest floor.
Right then.
I have a question.
Yes.
What happens if the geysers of multicolored light make contact with our person?
Well, it's a little hard to predict, but one has to make contact with it to dispel it.
Okay.
As long as you're both spellcasters, you should be able to manage what occurs.
All right. Well, thank you. Do our best.
She's still kind of slightly out of breath just because she hasn't stopped moving since she started talking to you two, and says, "Again, thank you both for your assistance. If you do come back and you've solved it, I'll give you a reward. I promise."
Which is visibly more awake now. Alrighty then, let's get going.
So again, the path is southwest, and she's given you a few waypoints. And as the two of you kind of depart from Upper Loft, you notice that sort of the way that the entrance is built, this time it doesn't fade away kind of how it faded into existence for you that first time, when Holly sort of showed you that odd little ritual that you have to do. This time it just stays perfectly within your vision. As again, the two of you are not being affected by the strange nature of this forest. And so you estimate as you leave that it will probably be a lot easier to navigate back to it this time than it was to get here in the first place. Alright, just one moment. Need to make sure that I know what I'm doing. So, the two of you travel for perhaps another 10 or 15 minutes, making your way between these multicolored trees. And the kind of general haze that lingers throughout the forest. But this time as you travel, you do not experience that sort of strange, confusing effect. As you walk throughout the forest, you find that your thoughts are rather lucid as to the navigation of this forest. You don't feel like you've constantly lost your way anymore. And as you walk, you start to realize, you start to kind of wonder how you ever had any difficulty with it, as things seem to just sort of make sense to your brain now. And indeed, as you walk, you get that feeling that Holly once described to you, that none of you said you experienced. You feel this little lurch in your stomach as you just sort of pass between what appears to be completely normal and continuous forest. You get that little lurch and all of a sudden feel as if you should turn a different direction. As if everything is shifted around you and things are not what they seem, you instead just redirect rather than feeling confused. And as the two of you walk for some time, making your way, you pass by that the giant rock shaped relatively vaguely like a bullfrog. It's a bit of a stretch, but you understand what she meant. And as you sort of depart from it, making your way off southwest, you hear two voices in the distance. At first, just kind of quiet, but they get a little bit louder as you walk, as the voices make their way towards you. And kind of through a gap in the trees off in the distance, you can kind of see these two figures walking. And they seem to be walking almost in the opposite direction that you are, heading straight towards you. And as they get closer and closer, you see them through the gaps of the trees. One of them a little bit larger than the others, but the smaller one is just talking excitedly about what, from what you can gather, is a chicken.
And she had the most beautiful feathers. They were brown, they glistened in the sun. You wouldn't believe. And her eyes, one was green, the other was yellow.
And go ahead.
No, that was it.
Okay, okay, yeah. I actually, as I said, go ahead. I actually realized that. Yeah, that was probably it. So as the two of you, Lola and Sequili, make your way, you also see the other two through gaps in the trees, and they look maybe a little bit more wary of you as you progress towards them.
So Queely will hold a hand up, just like kind of motioning for Lola to stop, and then look out at the newcomers.
Oh, hi, friend.
Hi, friend.
Are they friends? She said friend back. I think they're friends.
You two, do you threaten the forest?
We're on our way to do the opposite right now, actually.
Yeah, I could ask you the same thing.
No, I protect the forest. I'm here because it was crying out in pain.
Witz is gonna like point at his hat and be like, "Can you even see the forest?"
I can see the forest and I can feel it. What of you? Do you feel its pain?
No.
Then why are you here?
Because some dryad told us that there was a problem.
Lola and I have been searching. Would you know where this problem might be?
Well, yeah, we're heading towards it right now. The dryad gave us some directions to follow.
Sound good, Lola?
I'm prepared.
We will accompany you.
Alright, very well. And then Witz mumbles, I'm not
Hold
splitting
up.
my reward.
Everyone knows my name. What's y'all's name?
Sybil?
My name's Witz.
Well, are you a wizard, perhaps?
Maybe.
I approve the name. Your parents' name do well.
What parts?
Oh, My chicken died too.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you, I'm still hurting.
I am Soquili. Pleasure to meet you.
He's very nice. He's a good listener.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh.
are either of you spellcasters?
I play music, and some would say that's an art and magical.
Oh my god, we got a bard?
You know me. Jazz hand.
The land gives me some power, indeed.
That's the first thing you've told about yourself to me. We're connecting.
I had no moment to speak with you rambling.
You just gotta talk over me sometimes, so I just keep on really rambling, and I don't really know what to do about that. But I get really nervous, and like these are a lot of people around me.
Alrighty, well, this was a good chapter. We better head towards the problem.
Before the force turns into glass or whatever she said.
What the? Puzzle nut. Let's go.
Yeah, they say they've had a lot of things happen.
I'm just walking.
So with your two new companions in tow, Wits and Sybil, you kind of give them a general idea of where you're headed, describing those landmarks to them as well, so that the four of you can now make your way towards it. And you eventually see that rather tall tree, which she described to you as having purple and yellow leaves. And she told you that that once you arrived at that tree, that you ought to turn directly south, and that it's only about a 5-minute walk past that.
Oi,
And-
hey, Seville. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all you.
Oi, Seville, where's Barry?
Barry? He's right here.
Oh, you
Alright,
have a friend.
Here. Whistle blow like a circus pipe. Make him fly through the ring.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
heck yeah. Barry.
Tricks.
Through the hoop.
Where
Yeah,
where my flute at?
all you gotta do is tell him to do it, and he does it. So, he quickly flutters off your shoulder, and goes right through the smoke ring that Wits has made with his magical pipe. And once through it, he turns back towards you and does sort of a little barrel roll in the air and lands on your shoulder once more.
Good Barry. Have a berry.
He will happily consume it.
Yeah, Witch is just walking using Mage Hand to hold this pipe because he's lazy.
Very well. As the four of you progress south, indeed, you only get about 3-4 minutes before you see what appears to be odd refractions in the air, almost as if the air was made of sort of mirrors at odd angles. You can see these sort of cracks almost hovering in the haze of the forest. And through some gaps in the trees, you can see this twisting, kind of amorphous, colorful light. Which Sequili you immediately recognize as a wild magic surge.
Seems the magic in this area is unstable. It's causing the forest distress.
Alright, now finally we can copy everybody. Perfect. Beautiful. And so only walking for a slight bit more and passing kind of through those gaps in the trees, you see that this twisting mass of light hovering in the air is actually being emitted from what appears to be sort of cracks and holes in the ground, in the grass and dirt below.
Oh God.
Hang on. And the light is at its most intense at those cracks in the ground as it sort of emits in these little pulses, and you see all sorts of strange lights, rainbow colors, small little moving little motes of light like fireflies drift out of it, and even sort of like a fog as well, as it just kind of constantly changes, never staying at one thing.
Well, I guess this is what that Dryad was talking about.
She said we've got to touch it.
That sounds lovely. Okay.
Man, I wish Draven was here to touch it.
So
So clearly, seeing this, he'll stop for a moment and say a prayer. Would he worship Athar? Is that fair?
yeah, if you're Oath of the Ancients, that's most likely, unless you had some sort of other abstract version of worshipping nature, or if you specifically wanted to pick one of the Summer Court, that would be the other option.
I think Athar, just in general, is
Yeah.
like.
Even if you were worshipping
that-
one of the Summer Court, Athar would be an extension of that. So, no matter what, you can't go wrong with Athar.
Okay. Then, yeah, he's just gonna say a prayer to Athar, asking for the ensuring safety of this task.
Amen.
Lola, are you playing a song?
I was until I saw that thing. Then I was like, ooh.
Okay. So as you kind of draw a little bit closer towards it, there's almost sort of this humming energy in the air, and you kind of feel it almost reverberate through you. It gives you sort of chills and almost kind of slows your movement slightly as you approach it. You feel as though even you are now being distorted. Lola, you're the furthest back, so when you look at Wits, Sybil, and a little bit of Sequili in front of you, you see them sort of refracted. To you, it looks like there's sort of like hard lines across some of them, where they're at entirely different angles, like light refracting at weird angles. They look like twisted through like funhouse mirrors, basically, as they walk towards it.
This reminds me of my last birthday.
What?
I did drugs.
Oh, you like this pipe then?
Drugs are important for the spirit to go on journeys.
Oh, high five to that. Well, let's touch it.
And so that humming kind of energy in the air gets stronger and stronger as you approach it, until you're right up next to it. You feel it kind of consuming you. You look across at each other, and you're almost unrecognizable how much your images have been warped in the air. And so one of you is going to have to do this.
It's care to do the honors?
Fine.
I will say it's going to be an Arcana check if that helps.
Okay. Touch. Oh.
All right.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So as you sort of reach out your hand into this blinding light that's kind of surging from the earth, you see it sort of twist and wrap around your hand, and you feel just sort of energy surge through you. Similarly to how you feel after you take a long rest and you feel like that arcane energy's come back to you. You feel like that, but times 10. It's just sort of like humming and buzzing throughout your entire body. And so, let me just grab the note. We need to make several rolls. There are 4 of you. One of you is going to roll a d4. One of you is going to roll a d6. And 2 of you are going to roll d8s. You guys, in your warped and distorted forms, may decide who does what. Witz's Arcana check was too low to let me help you with that. So you guys have to decide what's what blind.
Oh,
I'll take I'll take the D4.
The D4. Okay.
Also
Like-
D6. I'm sorry.
yay.
All right, I was about to say I'd take the other D6. So.
There's two D8s.
Oh, no, I thought you said 2 D6s. All right, I'll take the other D8 then.
Yeah, one D4, one D6, and two D8s. So Lola and Witz are doing the D8s.
Yep.
So you're doing the D6, and so Queely with the D4. So each of you roll those then and give me your results.
Oh, I don't know what's good or bad yet. I don't know what's good or bad.
Fucking explodes.
Okay. So to pull back the curtain now that you've already done them and it's too late. So Queely, you rolled for the encounter from a list of 4. And since you were the bravest one taking the D4, you actually got away with the best result. On your D4, you rolled a very specific one that we will get to later.
Nice.
So next, Sybil, you rolled on the major surge table,
On
and you got a 2. That's a great one. For the next, roll 1d4, and I'm gonna add 1 to it. Roll a d4.
God. I love WoW magic.
It's fun.
Oh, you mean me?
Yeah.
It is.
You roll a d4.
Okay.
All right. For the next, I'm adding +1 to whatever you rolled. So then for the next 5 hours, everything you say must rhyme, and if it does not, we shall find out.
Oh no.
Yes.
Wait, what happens you say if it doesn't?
We shall see.
Oh,
Yeah, the major surge ones were potentially way worse or way better.
I wish Lola rolled that.
The other
That was
two,
indeed, or is that the party?
She would have done it anyway.
the other two, you rolled on the minor surge table. Wits,
Uh-oh.
Wits, you rolled a 1, which was the worst one.
Yay! My favorite kind of WoW magic, the worst kind.
And Lola, you got a 5. So Lola, yours it's again a minor surge, so nothing major, but you actually rolled a beneficial one.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
On your next saving throw, you get to add a roll of a d4. So just keep that in mind. Next time you're forced to make a saving throw, roll a d4 and add that to your result.
Got it.
Again, turn me into a potted plant.
A very minor
I hope
boon.
so.
As for wits, roll 1d6 for me, and I'm going to add 2 to that result.
All right. So that's gonna be 7 total.
7 total. You lose 7 hit points permanently for the rest of the day.
Oh.
Permanently?
Yes, you can't be healed beyond it. It's a max HP reduction. I can do that on your character sheet if you want me to.
Okay, that's fine.
Unless you just want to remember it, I can reduce that max HP.
Actually, I guess I can just remember it. I'll probably remember.
Yeah, if you just
19.
remember that you can't go past 19 on your heals, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I can do the whole reduction on your thing. So
Okay, I'm already used to having no health anyway.
you feel Wits, you feel yourself sort of slightly drained as this energized feeling leaves you. You feel like it's taken something from you, not that magical kind of energy. Instead, it feels like it took some life from you as it fades. Lola, you feel this sense of incredible luck all of a sudden, as though you just kind of are very lucky today. Sybil, you feel slightly tongue-tied as this occurs to you. And suddenly you feel as though something bad will happen if you don't rhyme. So Queely, as you experience all this, you do not experience any of these good or bad effects. Instead, you see the light right along the cracks in the earth begin to glow brighter and brighter and brighter. As the others focus on these strange sensations, you see these colors begin to split as they grow brighter, and they split into several different colors. And eventually, you see them just sort of burst out from the earth and spread across you, sort of in an arc over each of you. As the others are a little bit distracted, you watch them as they arc over top of each of you and spread to the corners.
Oh dear, I'm filled with fear.
One of the lights is a reddish orange. The other is a dark purple. Another one, sort of a light blue. And the last one, yellow and purple. And as these lights hit the ground, they surge once more and manifest as on the D4 table you rolled Elemental Chaos.
Well, that's lovely.
Roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Just not having a good day.
Oh.
All right. Can you guys just read them out for me so I can type them faster? Oh, hang on. I got it. I forgot that I had
So
to do
Queely with a 6. I had tiebreaker check.
Stop for a sec. Sorry.
Oh.
I forgot that I have to do the. I have to manually reset whispers to switch the other two in. All right. So Queely, what'd you get?
6.
6. Lola.
13.
13.
Yep.
Okay. Wits.
8.
8. And Sybil.
17.
17.
Finally, Sybil might go first for once.
Woo!
All the elementals get a 20+ roll.
Alrighty. Let me get some music. That's a bit of a banger. Let's go with this one. I haven't used this one in a long time. Okay. So as these creatures manifest, first one to sort of snap out of the strange feelings is Sybil. I'm just gonna snap you guys to the grid.
All right, so
You
this
scan.
guy right here is in Earth. Oh, sorry.
You scan the surrounding environment and see these 4 creatures, all rather large, each of them all taller than you. Just sort of all kind of staring at you menacingly, and they kind of have started to all approach your position. Looking relatively hostile. What would you like to do?
This is an Earth Elemental, right?
Well, this one looks like it's sort of formed into the shape of a tree. Though the bark looks like it's almost made of stone. It's grayer more so than brown. So it has it's like a large stone tree with leaves growing across it.
All right. And I cast Spike Growth.
All right, where do you want it? Let me go grab it. Where do you want it?
1 second. What's the range on that thing again?
Big.
Yeah. Oh, dang. Wait.
So you'll definitely
gosh.
place it where you want it, but it's also a large area of effect, so consider that too.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Thing is very big.
I'm just in the process of grabbing it for you, but I'll
Okay.
Perfect. It was the right size. Thank you. Let me
Yeah,
give you control of it. All right, you should be able to move it around now. So place it where you want it.
All right. Right there.
All right. Very well. Then you raise your staff, and as you do, you see these stone and sort of sharp plant spikes shoot up from the ground in this massive area, surrounded by this sort of glowing circle of druidic magic. Let me just put it
Alright.
there so that we can do that. Sorry, hey, I'm just opening your character sheets because I forgot I didn't have you there. Who am I missing? Oh, perfect. Refresh, that's why. Forgot about the changes. There we go. Alrighty. Now, spike growth. Been a while since you did that. Yeah, big range, 20-foot radius. Alright, so this area is now difficult terrain for him. And we'll see if he moves.
Okay, and I can also still move too,
Yeah, of course.
right?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to move. I can't move into this, can I? Because it's a freaking nightmare.
You could step across it, but it hasn't entirely faded yet. It's not nearly as bright as it once was, and it's not pulsing with this energy anymore. But you do still sort of see these glowing cracks in the earth there. You could step on it if you wanted.
Okay, I think that's probably not a good decision. I'm gonna move a little farther away from this guy and towards Wits to like deal with this one, which I assume is more fastly encroaching.
All right. And if that's the end of your turn.
Yep.
Then next, the massive sort of lumbering stone elemental here takes a step towards you. So you can roll your... How much damage is that? Roll your 2d4.
Sorry, 6 damage.
6 damage. Very well. And as you see these spikes kind of pierce parts of it, the Earthstone Elemental does not look particularly perturbed by them. It does not take 6. It instead takes 3.
Dang it.
But it does notice that it's sort of these sharp spikes have kind of knocked off a couple little chunks around its rather meaty-looking feet, and it kind of looks down and scans the area as if it hadn't even noticed it before. And then it will spend the rest of its turn. It won't move. It stops kind of as it looks around, and it'll instead raise up both of its arms and just slam its 2 fists down into the ground. And as it does, you see the earth just kind of shake and flatten. And at this range... Nah, you're all good. It does not hit you. It doesn't quite reach you, Sybil. But it does send all these spikes just shattering and flying all over the place.
Oof.
And so it has cleared out an area. around it. About that big. So some of your spikes are still around kind of behind it, but it's sort of cleared this own area for itself with its little earthquake it just caused. So you can still keep the spell up if you want this area back here to remain, but it has cleared that other circle. Next
Alright.
act is Lola.
Lola doesn't know what the heck she gonna do.
You can always tell him about her chicken.
We're gonna do what bards do best and bully them. Go for this boy.
Okay. So you turn towards the one that looks like sort of almost a tornado crackling with lightning. And what do you want to do to it?
Looks like somebody's throwing a tantrum.
All right. It will make a wisdom save using your vicious mockery. Wisdom, not exactly its strong suit.
Woo!
14, it will not succeed that. It got an 8. And so it will take 2 psychic damage.
Did my best. And then
You see, it sort of has these glowing eyes on the front of it, and parts of the twisting tornado form almost this angry mouth. And you just see those eyes furrow as they furrow and glare at you from far away.
middle finger. Well, not middle finger. Peace sign. And then I'm gonna give you a little pat on the back with here's some bardic inspiration. Go team.
Alrighty, nice. So yeah, just make sure that you're marking your bardic inspirations like you were with your rages and all that. If you have any questions about anything, if you're switching over to bard, I guess you played bard before, so you're all good.
Oh yeah, bard's my favorite class.
Yeah, of course. All right, yeah, all good then. Here, there you go. Alrighty, then if that's the end of your turn,
I'm good.
very well. The whirling lightning elemental begins to kind of move towards you, Lola. And then you see these sort of formed arms made from twisting lightning along its side reach out at you. And
Yep,
you
that's
see
kinda
this sort of whip of lightning lash across at you.
Embrace it.
So I'm going to range spell attack. Your AC, I gotta get used to the new ACs. You're 14, right?
Yep.
Okay. That was a 17.
You snickerdoodle.
And so that will be that'll be 5 lightning damage.
Feeling a little toasty in here.
And then it's going to pull you.
Joke's on you, I love hugs.
It's going to pull you 10 feet toward
Goodbye. Goodbye, friends.
it. So the rest of you just sort of out of the corner of your eye, you notice Lola just get wrapped up by this lasso of lightning energy, and it just yanks her across towards the elemental.
Oh, bye, Lola.
And that'll be the end of its turn. Alrighty. That brings us to this fellow here. I wonder. I wonder. Okay. Let's make some measurements, shall we? Okay, interesting. going to move slightly closer. And then you see it raise kind of one of these gnarled hands with these sort of talons at the end of it, and levels it right at you, Sequili. And then it is going to fire an icicle at you.
All right. AC 17.
Well, I rolled a 20 dirty.
Nice.
Good first roll, bud. I did not think I'd be beating the 17, but all right, we'll go for it.
In my experience with high ACs, the first one always passes.
First one, yeah, it's always the first one.
I have an 18 AC character in another campaign, and the very first one is the same thing.
But the icicles are not incredibly high damage, so that will be... Oh, hang on, sorry. Don't have your health in here. Perfect. That's better. Alrighty, so that'll be just 4 cold damage.
All right, taken.
And then it's going to use its other hand to lifts the other hand up, and it's going to aim it at Sybil and fire another icicle.
Woo, let's go.
I got to beat a 13, and we got a 14, so that'll do her. Roll the dice. That'll be 3 cold damage for Sybil. And then make a concentration save on your spike growth.
Concentration save.
So just a con save. And you got to beat a 10.
Oh wait, no, that's not a save, but still same modifier.
Yeah, we'll use that then. All right, spike growth gone, but most of it was already gone anyway.
Yeah.
Alrighty. That'll be the end of the Firestorm Elemental's turn. And so is now Witz's turn.
All right.
So Lola's just been grabbed and pulled out from your little tight bundled group there. And as you spin around, you see this whirling flame, ball of flame beginning to move towards you. As Sequili and Sybil are pelted with icicles. What are you going to do?
All right. Let's move up just a tad. And then, you know that scene from SpongeBob where, like, Patrick goes, like, fits in his hands? Open sesame. He does that, and we'll cast Rhymes Binding Ice on the Fire Boy.
Oh.
Which, the Fire Boy has to make a con save.
Alrighty. I forget what your con is. Let's double check. Very well.
Has to pass a 13.
It was a
Sorry,
23.
1 sec.
Oh, well, he still takes half the damage of it.
Yeah, you nat 20 that one.
So he takes, what's that gonna be, 7? It rounds up.
Alrighty. Let me double check something. Alrighty. Yeah, just a flat 7.
Alright, and that's gonna be it for Witz's turn.
Very well. Then next in the turn order is Sequili.
All right. Squealy's gonna, with his free hand, bring it to his chest and say, "Wildfather, protect me." And he's gonna cast Protection from Evil and Good
Very well.
on himself. And then he's gonna reposition a bit in between these 2 elementals. And that's gonna be my turn.
Alright. Alright. Just wanted to reread that, make sure. Take it into account. Next to act will be the Firestorm Elemental. First things first, we'll move here. And is going to oh, hang on, wrong thing. Where are ya? Okay, that's better. We'll use that instead. Alright. It's going to cast a wall of flame.
Another wall.
Ugh.
And one more. That
Oh,
surges
no!
across the ground. And roars. It's one long connected wall, burning about 10 feet tall. All right. And then it's going to move here.
God. So no need to panic, but there's a giant fireball right here.
And that'll be the end of its turn. So that brings us back to Sybil.
This guy hit me last time, didn't he?
Yes, this one fired an icicle, which kind of hits you in the back of your shoulder.
Okay, nice. Does that do I get to use a Hell Tribute for that?
Oh yeah, you could have done that back then.
Oh, can I still do it?
Well, it's now.
Fine.
It's a little bit late.
Yeah, because it takes a
Dang it.
reaction.
Yeah,
No.
it's a little late. We've moved past several
Oh.
turns beyond that, so
Considering your situation, I'm sure
Alright.
you'll be targeted again.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
you'll have
I'll go
plenty
for
of
it.
opportunities to do so again in the future.
Okay, dang. What are we gonna do? Little bunk.
You are
dog.
you're now sort of sweating as this massive fireball is standing behind you. Ooh, nice hit.
Oh, it's either nat 1 or nat 20 with that bonk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, roll your damages.
Nice.
That's a very good roll.
Good damn. Who would do more damage to a fire elemental? A ray of ice and cold damage, or a fucking stick? The answer
alrighty.
is the damn stick.
Hope it's not
So
gonna turn into a flaming stick.
Wait, that means it does more damage.
Oh
It
yeah.
it is Shillelagh. It is sort of empowered by this magic. So,
Magic stick.
you smash your shillelagh into the side of this creature's head as it sort of looms over you. You kind of connect with something semi-solid, almost as if there's some sort of mass within there, and it sort of lurches back for a sec as you strike it. And as you strike it, it actually bursts with fire. And so as you did that, sorry, both of you
Uh-oh.
are gonna take three fire damage. Both Wits and Sybil are going to take 3 fire damage, but you did damage it with your attack regardless.
That was rude of him.
Alright, anything else, Sybil?
I do not believe so. I can't leave without him hitting me again, so.
True.
Let's go. My turn's over.
Alright. The next will be the Earthstone Elemental. Who's going to attempt to recharge that earthquake? He does not do so. Alright, so instead, he's going to just be real scary. And move up onto your other side, Sybil. So now you have another massive elemental standing over you.
All right, don't worry, Sybil. I can get us out of here.
He does not have the earthquake, so he's instead just going to reel back with one of his stony fists and just try to punch you. Uh, 19 will beat your AC.
And these guys are rolling good today.
Wow.
Jeez, yeah.
12, 14, and 13 are not amazing ACs. And they do have decent modifiers. So, sorry, back to business. This is going to be another 4 bludgeoning. An incredible damage roll, bud. Kind of makes you look a little weak, dude. Okay. Reacting to that, Sybil, or?
Reacting? Oh, yeah, sorry. Thanks for reminding me. Let's see, where are you? Hellish Rebuke.
Alright, roll your hellish rebuke.
Or that one twice, but it's the same damage, so.
Alrighty. Yeah, it was perfect. Then you see fire lick up across the surface of this large stone elemental, and you can see it actually sort of burn so hot that it starts to melt parts of the stone, which then fall off it around it.
Heck yeah, take that, you monstrous gnat.
All right.
Rhyming.
You tell him, Sybil.
Perfect. Nice work.
Oh gosh.
So next is Lola. Behind you, as you were pulled forward, Lola, a massive spout of flames blocks you from the rest of the party, as you now face down this large, twisting whirlwind of electrical energy. What are you gonna do?
Oh, you should be afraid, friend. Distant whisper to his ass, his butt. Oh,
Alrighty. Let me double check. Your save is 14, yeah?
yes.
Okay. You rolled a 17.
Oh,
He doesn't particularly have a great modifier on that, but...
well, friend, you're still my friend. That is fine.
It's going to take half your damage. And stay put.
That's it. I'm gonna take whatever he throws at me now.
Indeed. Alrighty. Alright. It is indeed his turn if that's the end of your turn.
It is.
Very well. The large elemental will reach out its hand once more. This time, instead of attempting to rope you up in its lasso, it will just attempt to sort of place its palm against your head. Make an intelligence save.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah.
Not bad.
We're just gonna be safe. I did it wrong. Hold on. Okay, that's fine, I guess. It's whatever.
All right. It's a good thing you had that D4.
Whew!
All right. Then you feel this jolt kind of surge across you. And you're still going to take damage regardless, but you won't feel the full effects of it. All right. So you will take 6 lightning. But will not suffer any additional effects.
I'm real close to cussing here.
Alrighty. Next. Ice time. I'll just sort of move along the edge there. And then we'll, let's see. What do you want to do? Plethora of interesting options. Alrighty. Oh yeah, let's do that. One. Ooh, too big. One. Two. Alright, we're gonna have to copy that. You're gonna be too big every time. 3. Alright. And then
These guys are building a house.
Oh yeah. Alright. Extinguish that. Alright.
This is this deployable dungeon at this point. There's so many walls.
Alrighty. A little bit longer than that. Oops. What's going on with that one? Did that one go to the wrong layer? What's going on here? Why'd you go to the wrong layer? I didn't tell you to do that. Perfect. And then there will be another one this way, though I'm not sure it will matter. Let us draw it. For effect. Perfect. There we go. Alright, lots of walls. And then it's going to raise its other hand and fire an icicle at you. Squealy.
Alright. Disadvantage if it's an elemental.
Indeed. It is not hitting based on that first roll.
Nice.
So the icicle soars past you and hits a tree harmlessly in the background instead. Alrighty. That brings us to Witz's turn. You were just singed by the burst that occurred after Sybil attacked it. What are you gonna do?
All right, Sybil, I have a plan.
Better be a
Witz
good one.
will put his hand on Sybil's shoulder, run, and he will cast invisibility on her.
Okay.
Then he will look at the fire demon in front of him, give a little peace sign and a smile, and use Misty Step to get the fuck away from there. He'll go
Wait, what'd you give her invisibility with?
a spell, but Misty Step's a bonus action.
Is 2 level
Yes,
spells?
but it's 2 levels. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Thank you, Lena. Doing my
Well,
job.
the first one's a feat, or the Misty Step. The first one I use as a feature, so it doesn't cost a second level spell slot.
It's still a spell, right?
It's
It's still a
still,
level
I think,
spell, though.
I think more so than the spell slots, it's more about the time consumed. I think is the idea. Well, no, maybe not, but I don't know. I don't know if there's actually anything that specifically says anything about it. I have to read into it and see what other people think. My own brain leaned towards no. But I'll say no for now, and then I'll look into it, and I'll change it if I see other people saying yes. How's that?
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna stab Mr. Fireman.
Very well.
Actually, no, I can't. Never mind. Because I use an action. All right. Well, Witz is just gonna sit here twiddling his thumbs then.
Right. Okay. So. Yeah. All right. Whew. Okay. Then next is Sequili.
Alright, question. Can I make it through this little gap over there? Like if I go like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm definitely going to do that. We'll go there. So seeing the walls in front of him, kind of cutting off his area to maneuver. As a centaur, Sequili does not like to be limited in his movement, so he's going to run outside of that. Notice Lola over here being threatened by this elemental crackling with electricity, and he's going to immediately swing his pike as he approaches.
All right. You're using the feet to do that?
No,
Oh,
just regular attack.
Just regular attack. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So 13 probably doesn't hit.
13 to hit. What the heck is your AC, bud? Actually, that does hit.
Oh, nice. So 6 piercing off of that, and then I am going to use my feet
Okay.
for my bonus action.
Very well.
So as he stabs out with his pike, makes contact, and then pulls it back out and swings around the butt of the pike for 7 bludgeoning.
Nice.
And that'll be my turn.
Alrighty. Then next up is the fiery boy. Yeah, that's about right. That makes sense you'd do that. Okay. He's going to rear back with one of his fists, seeing Sybil just sort of disappear, and instead gonna focus on Wits and attempt to punch you with its flaming fist. And that is going to miss.
Impressive.
So it's gonna do it again. It has multi-attack.
Oh.
Second one will hit you, but the first one misses. So that will be 3 bludgeoning and 3 fire.
Ouchie.
All right. Yeah, that's good enough for him. I don't think he would do anything else. Next is Sybil. Witz just sort of tapped your shoulder, and you looked down, and you just sort of are now see-through to yourself. So what would you like to do, Sybil?
I know you told me run, but I'm gonna be honest, my damage from like distance gets worse less spell slots I have, and I'm kind of running out of those. So,
If you're gonna attack, at least you get advantage coming out of invisibility.
True.
oh, I do.
Yeah, they can't see
Yeah,
where the
close.
attack's coming from, so it helps.
Okay. Then I think is it okay if I move like right over here? So
We'll
it's like,
swing at the air.
oh,
You
Wait,
won't
can
you
it,
won't
like,
you won't
feel
receive
me?
one from this one. You'll receive one from this one.
wait, can this can it feel me like leaving or something?
Yeah,
Sense me
they
leaving?
can. It's not invisibility is not a perfect getaway. It just forces disadvantage on attacks.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
creatures can still hear you and
They
smell
can
you.
hear,
and stuff
smell,
Like
all the other senses apply. Plus, they might also just flail at something that disappeared in front of them. You know, so it helps you avoid stuff, but it's not a direct disappearance like a disengage would be, where you're sort of carefully dodging, and making sure they don't hit you. So you won't take one from this guy because you're just pivoting around him. You will take one from this one if you move over there.
Okay. Thanks for telling me that then.
But it will be rolling with disadvantage against you, just to be aware.
Yeah. I think I might move right here.
Yeah, you won't take anything from just
And-
slipping between them.
Give this dude a swing. So, God darn it! Gosh darn it!
I think
It's advantage though.
Yeah, it's advantage. You get the roll
You
Oh,
do
again.
get
advantage?
advantage.
Oh.
I was laughing because
Oh, you're kidding.
you were saying last time that it's either a nat 1 or a nat 20 with that attack. It's
Literally was a nat 20 and then a nat 1.
it's kind of coming true. Can't
I'd
will
like
those
to
sorts of things.
refund my
into-
second level spell slot.
Can't will those sorts of things into the universe. All right. You swing at them, and do not manage to connect. Which one were you attacking, by the way?
It was this
Okay.
dude.
Okay, I just wanted to know out of curiosity. Doesn't really matter.
Yep.
All right. But you do not manage to connect with your staff. So you just kind of sees you sort of fade back in, but wasn't really entirely all that concerned with it in the first place.
Kidding me, you little bee.
Good RP, good RP. Alrighty. So he's gonna go next. First things first, let's try and see if we can get a... Alright, everybody, cross your fingers. Hell yeah. Alright. He successfully recharges his Earthquake. Let's just... let's just blast with that. Why not? He slams into the ground once more, and will shake the earth. So, Wits and Sybil, I need the two of you to make dex saves. This fellow's floating. He's all good. Alright, so is this fellow. The only one not floating is this one, by the way. I should probably mention that. Alright. Sybil saves. Which does not. Alright, let's roll some damage. Whew. Alrighty. So Sybil saved. So she only takes 5 bludgeoning as she is shaken by this. Wit's you gonna take 10.
Oh, Wits has
Ooh.
0 HP now.
What?
Yep.
Drop. Oh. Oh, making it up to you.
I was going to knock you prone, but you took care of that all on your own. So. Alright, that'll be the end of his turn, that's all he can do.
Premium.
Sylvia, you saved, you're not knocked prone, you just take a little bit of damage. Alright. That'll bring us to Lola's turn. You see Sequili kind of round the side of that firewall there, and join you. What are you gonna do?
What?
I will add, just for mechanical purposes, the walls are equally tall, the ice and the fire one. A firewall can be technically walked through. You will take some damage, obviously. The ice wall would have to be climbed.
Good. I'm good.
Just to clarify that.
Casually walks through the fire.
Okay. Gonna run over. Give him a little wipey swipe.
Alright, you sort of pivot around him and attack
I'm
with
feeling so brave.
short sword, yeah?
Yep.
Alright, that hits.
5
piercing. No resistance to that. As you sort of stab at the creature, you can see it sort of crackle and kind of lose its form for a second. It appears to be sort of slightly unstable now. You've caused some significant damage to it between the two of you, and so it is having a harder time keeping that kind of triangular tornado shape. It's now kind of wavering all over the place.
He should learn to conduct himself. No one get that. No one
Electricity hasn't been discovered yet.
conduct himself.
Was that a joke?
Here's some bardic inspiration.
Here, you can have mine. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah.
Are you giving bardic inspiration?
Oh, no.
Yep.
I was talking to Lola.
Oh, okay. My bad.
To
I'll
who?
do a finger guns as I said my conducting joke.
To Sequili?
Okay. Yep.
Alrighty. Symbols for days.
It doesn't get joke, but gets inspired.
There was an attempt made. He feels the attempt.
It's like, oh, how thoughtful.
Very well. If that is all, Lola, then the Thunderstorm Elemental will kind of pivot back and forth, now looking kind of wavering and unstable. It's going to attempt that same... Actually, hang on one second.
Please no.
Yep, it's going to attempt that same thing on you as it
Please,
successfully
no.
recharged it.
No.
It's
Got
going
my
to reach its hand out and try to zap you.
it's
Int
zapping.
save. This time it will succeed. So it uses Mind Shock on you.
It did not like the
And you-
conducting joke.
It did not appreciate it. Clearly, it has a very unpleasant demeanor.
He's a fragile
Doesn't like
joke.
jokes. Yeah, exactly.
This was not unconscious right now. He would be saying you should have continued mocking it.
All right. So that will
Fuck his
be that will be 9 lightning. As it places its hand on you and zaps you, and you feel this jolt travel through your entire body, but it sort of focuses on your head and kind of frazzles your head.
My hair.
Yeah, your hair sticks up in all directions.
You know what? That looks cool.
And so, roll a d4 for me.
Oh god.
All right, that's actually the best result you could have gotten.
Woo!
For 1 minute, you cannot make reactions.
Oh, okay.
All right, it's the end of its turn. The ice elemental will.
No.
What's your
He said, "What's going on over here?"
Sybil about get fucked up.
Ah, jeez.
That's right. I made you a little slower. All right. It's gonna actually expend the rest of its movement to move on top of its wall.
Towering over you now.
But it will actually be forced to dash to do that. So, it actually can't do anything else this turn. All right. That brings us to wits. So death save.
Which one do I have to click? Or do I click that? Because, or do I just click the death save key on D&D Beyond?
Yeah, I don't think there's a dice roller for it. But it's just a d20.
Alright, I'll do that then.
You just gotta beat a 10, or hit a 10.
Yeah. Finally, I hit a decent one for once.
Nice. All right, one success.
Yay. Oh wait, wait, hang on.
You can keep track
Is
of
this
them
the-
there.
Oh, there is a roll for it. Okay.
Oh, nice. There is a roll. I don't know if they always had that. That might be new.
I had to click on the, because whenever I put my HP down to 0, it pulled up the thing.
Pulls up the thing.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, we'll use your first one, obviously.
Yeah. Either way, it's a pass, so.
Yeah, so make sure you mark down your successes and your failures.
Yeah, I have.
But yeah, that's 1 success. And we'll move along. Next in the turn order is Sequili.
All right. While the elemental's distracted, I'm going to continue assaulting him.
Alrighty.
All right. First attack with the pike.
That hit.
All right. 5 off of that. Swinging it around, twirling it through the air, going for the butt.
Alright. The 11.
I'm going to use my bardic.
Okay, go for it.
14.
Yeah, that'll do it. Roll your damage.
All right. 5 piercing, 5 bludgeoning, 10 total.
Very well. The second 5 there, that 5 on the end there, will you slam it kind of into the back of this creature as it was focusing on Lola. And as you sort of slam into it with the butt of your pike, you kind of see jolts of lightning shoot out in all directions, and then it just sort of attempts to keep that twisting tornado solid, but it just begins to sort of disperse outwards, and the tornado wavers and wavers, and then just disperses.
Nice. And as it does so, I'm gonna. Well, I can run across it now since it's dead, right?
It dispersed almost entirely. There's just sort of like
Okay.
tattered what looks to be almost leatherish kind of paper lying on the ground.
All right. Then I'm gonna run around the icy wall and over here on the other side. And as I run by Lola, I'll say, "There's more," and then just continue my way around here to assist the others.
Oh.
And that'll be my turn.
Alrighty. Next will be the Firestorm Elemental. who after downing wits is going to turn his attention to Sybil and is going to attack you.
Actually, he didn't down wits. It was the earthquake.
Right. Well, I mean, now that wits is down.
Oh,
But,
okay.
They're operating as a team. Okay. It's going to attempt to punch you, Sybil, but it rolled a 7 on the first one, which does not hit you. So we're gonna use multi-attack and try again. But that was a nat 1. All right, you're good to go.
Woo! Okay, good to see I'm not the only one with trash luck in this place.
Yeah, today it's me, clearly.
All right. So
Yeah,
it uses its multi-attack to do that, and is not able to do anything else. So that'll be the end of its turn, which rolls us right around to you, Sybil.
Okay, cool. I gotta make sure Wits doesn't freaking die, so I can move here, right? I shouldn't have moved in the first place. That was not a big brain move.
Yes, you can move. You can move there. You won't take AOPs from that.
Okay. So, runes. God. Why?
Regardless,
Taking that
it'll
one.
bring him back to life.
It's the first one, right?
Sorry.
It is the same.
Or,
So
I guess it
it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
really matter. But that's the second time that it's rolled twice for you with the same number. So maybe it's just accidentally posting it twice. But yeah,
Hey,
regardless,
guys.
we use the first one. So
Really quick, I gotta move.
of course, yeah, of course.
To leave this room. I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah. Take care of it. Failed their stealth roll finally. Okay. So Wits, she does manage to heal you for a little bit. So coughing and spluttering, you are ripped back into this world, feeling a little bit shaken and slightly burnt, but still alive. So right now you're lying down on the ground.
Which is just looking up after waking up, and he just says,
Just.
"Damn it, I was almost there."
Just staring at the sky, pondering the clouds.
Yeah, at this point, with all the unfortunate of it, he's like, "Damn, I wish I died." Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's take a peek at something. It's still her turn. I don't want to end her turn prematurely. That's probably all she was gonna do.
Yeah, I don't think she could have done anything else other than get opportunity attacked if she moved somewhere else.
She could technically bomb with a summer court, which is why I'm hesitant to skip her turn.
Okay.
Since that would be bonus action and isn't technically really a spell at all. So I don't know if she would maybe want to, after she rolled so low, give you extra healing. Just to make sure you stay out. Which is why I don't want to skip her. I'm not sure how long she'll be. I guess we could just... it could affect things in the future, so I don't want to move past it. It's kind of...
Good to chill for a minute.
Yeah, as long as you guys are good to chill, I am too. It's kind of an important little decision there that could affect things that occur in the future, since you only have a tiny amount of health width, so I do want to wait for her. Is there anything that says that bardic inspiration goes away when you get knocked down? I don't think so, right?
It doesn't, but I feel like it does, but it doesn't say.
There's nothing that specifically says that. That's what I wanted to double check, because I didn't think there was, but yeah, Wit still has it then. It's all good.
Hell yeah, Wit. I think it's 10 minutes. As long as it's in 10 minutes, you still got it.
Yeah, there's nothing
Honestly,
that says that it goes away, so it's all good.
With how things are going for Wits, I feel like the bardic inspiration is the only thing keeping his will to live.
It's just staring at the clouds and holding on to life.
He's like, I could have just stayed in Sonderheim and not done anything. I did not have to be here. But yet I am.
Actually, let's, while we're waiting anyway, if anybody needs to go grab water, grab snack, chat, and stuff like that, we'll actually do our little 2-minute break because we're already past that point anyway. But we might as well do it right now.
Okay.
I'm just gonna fade the music out there and go to the BRB screen. But yeah, we'll just do a little BRB right now. Run to the bathroom, get a snack, whatever you need to do. We'll be right back. All right. I am back.
I'm back.
So Sybil says that they locked her out, so she's got to go back to her dorm. So she'll probably be within 10 minutes. It's not too bad. We'll hold on. I'm
Second
already...
there,
Go ahead. What?
I was gonna say for a second there, I thought they meant that they got locked out of their dorm, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that would probably would have been worse.
Sit outside in the bench and play D&D.
Okay. So that's enough time that we can just sort of hold on and wait. Gamer Moth, you called dibs on Witz's stuff if he dies?
That's my friend.
All right. You heard it here, folks. Witz dies and then just, for some reason, all of his things just disappear from the realm. They just phase out of existence and go somewhere else.
Funny how magic do that.
I mean, this would be
Just
the
magic
place
things.
to have that happen. In the middle of a wild magic church.
Yeah. They all get sucked into the hole right here.
Yeah, it just drags you in. You spit out into a completely different universe. It's just like now it's science fiction now.
It's like in Minecraft whenever you get close to items, how it gets sucked in like a vacuum cleaner. The hole does the same thing with all his items.
Spits them out. They smack into the side of some spaceship in a different universe.
Yeah, no, I had messaged him saying, so he's rolling death saves now. And then he said, ooh, I want to watch.
Well, since that, you've stood back up, though, or not stood back up, but you've come back to the world of the living, and though it is a little bit on the precipice again. Go back to our peaceful Fungal Grove song. It's very relaxing for some reason.
Yeah, this is what Witz has going on in his head right now.
Yeah, exactly.
On the ground, barely alive.
Meditating on the meaning of life.
You just hear the faded voice. Why are we here? Just to suffer. Yeah, Jay, that my friend messaged me saying, "Okay, I'm here now. You can die."
I give you permission to die.
Cannot die unless I will it.
All right. Just trying to think of. Where are we at now?
Hello there.
Hey.
Are you in a good place to continue, or?
Yeah, I'm in a good place to continue. I got kicked out of the
Yeah,
college basement when they locked up.
perfect.
I'm in the study room now.
All right. We didn't want to end
Studying.
your turn prematurely because we weren't sure if you were going to bomb of the summer court or not.
Oh yeah. I'll probably bomb the summer court. Did you heal wits? Or I did heal wits. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you gave him.
Really funny if you didn't bomb with a summer court.
You gave him a tiny bit, but we were like, "There's not a ton you could do on your turn. You probably didn't want to move. You couldn't really cast another spell, and you couldn't use your action to attack." But we were like, "Oh, but she can technically bomb with a summer court since it's not a spell." So that's why we were like, she didn't really do a ton of healing because she got a low roll there. So we were saying that maybe you would bomb with a summer court. That's why I didn't want to end your turn prematurely.
Oh yeah. That's just like a d6 or two, so I'll expend one of those on wits. Nice. Full
Don't I
six.
get a temp HP from that too?
You get one temp HP too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought. A singular one.
It is technically you spend a number of them. You don't have to only spend one.
Okay. I might spend one on myself really quick too because I'm not in a super awesome place and I want to keep moving.
I think you have to specifically target one person. Just by
You do?
by the way, it says you restore HP to one creature. It just says spending a number of dice from the pool implies that you would spend more than one if you wanted to.
All right.
But it does specify one creature.
Okay.
So that two can go to wits if you want.
Okay, goes to wits then.
All right.
Thanks for the explanation for that.
An extra 6 to wits. Plus the 1 temp HP. Alrighty. So as you're pondering life wits, Sybil adds to the healing and you feel some of your wounds fade, though you are still lying on the ground.
Wits is contemplating if he even wants to get up.
Alrighty, let's switch back now. Okay, so that will be the end of Sybil's turn then, so I'm presuming you don't want to move.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a fun time.
So, Earthstorm Elemental will not recharge the Earthquake. And will instead just try to smack you, Sybil.
Okay.
19 will hit. But the damage roll is a 4 bludgeoning. That is about all he can do. Yep, that's all he can do. All right, then we move over to Lola. Now Lola, Sequili just sort of dispersed the lightning elemental in front of you, and it has sort of burst and disappeared. You're feeling a little bit shaken still from that mind shock that it gave you, but you are free to move where you want.
Well, first things first. I'm gonna healing word myself a little bit. Okay, that's fine.
Thorough?
Heal. And then... Okay. Not much else I can do. We gonna dagger a bitch. Click. My fire boy.
All right.
We're gonna dagger a bro.
You're going to throw your dagger.
Goodbye,
Throw.
dagger.
All right. You whip your dagger across the terrain, and we'll hit with a 15 here.
Piercing, hopefully. If not,
The the dagger stabs into the elemental, and sort of almost superheats and then falls to the grass floor, and you can see it kind of glowing a hot orange of the blade part of it.
I'ma hope that worked.
I did take the damage.
Hell yeah. Alright, that's it. That's all I got.
Very well. That passes us to the thunderstorm, who is dead, and will instead take us to the ice storm elemental, who is sort of now perched up on top of the ice wall that it created and surveying the battlefield. I think no reason to switch up the wall, so I won't bother trying. And we'll still just fire 2 icicle attacks. Let me double check. What's my range on this one? Yep. And yep. Alright, everybody's in range. Who would you pick if I was an elemental? Honestly, probably from his vantage point. These two are right up on top of you two, so I think probably would go for 1 against you and 1 against you.
Let's go.
So it raises both of its hands and fires icicles in your direction. So clearly imposing disadvantage on that roll. So it will miss.
Want to deflect it with the pike, just like knock it
Exactly.
out into the woods.
But Lola, yours will hit you.
What a little thing.
And so that damage roll will be 5 cold. And that's all. So, rolling back around to now Wits. You're still down on the ground, but you're feeling at least a little bit bolstered from some of that healing.
Alright, well, first things first. After a long consideration, which will stand up.
Decide to stand back up.
He's like, fine, I guess. I don't remember. I feel like it's not, but is he big enough to where I can walk like through his space?
It is pretty big, and it is giving off a lot of heat. Are you talking about that one?
Yeah.
I would say probably no. And if you did, you would almost certainly take damage. Just
Okay.
because I'm saying maybe because it's not like a hard object. It's fire. So it you could pass by it, but it would be walking into a firestorm.
Okay. Well, Wits is simultaneously lost his sense of self-preservation and is also pissed.
Fair.
And I'm ready to be done fighting. So he is going to walk through the fire and the flames.
Do you want to walk through this guy, or do you want to walk through the firewall?
I guess he's gonna walk through this one, the firewall.
Yeah, fair enough.
And go right here. So what's the damage on that?
3 fire.
3 fire? Alright, let me take that off.
The rest of you just see Witch just stone-faced, not even paying attention to the damage, just walk straight through fire. It singes at his clothing and stuff, but he just does not react.
Then he is going to cast Ryan's Binding Ice again, and it's a 30-foot cone, and he should be able to angle it to where he can get all 3 of them in here.
Bro.
So yeah, they all have to make a con saving throw.
Let me see. Really. Yeah, I guess if you're angry enough, you probably miss her.
Yeah, it's kind of like clipping the edges of him and then going kind of at the last guy.
All right, yeah, go for it then.
All right, so why do I even play?
All right,
I feel your pain, Seville.
Everybody will make con saves. Let me double check. Start with this guy, Firestorm. What in the world? That one fails it. That one fails it too. Oh, they all fail it. All right.
Okay, so they all take max damage, and for the next 10 minutes, their movement speed is 0.
Very well. Really, so 10 cold damage against Firestorm. 10 cold damage against Earthstone. And Ice Storm Elemental will gain 10 temp HP.
Damn. Actually, no, I said 10. I meant 1 minute. My bad.
Yeah, 1 minute.
And then I'm pretty sure, yeah, it can use an action to break out of it.
Yeah. He is now just sort of cemented into his ice wall now. You see the ice kind of freezing him into the ice wall as he's perched up here like a turret.
It basically is a turret with the icicles.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, that was sort of the idea, is that he was going to go perch up on his walls. That was kind of why I designed him that way. All right.
You said he's floating, right?
He was, but now the ice has kind of like solidified him into it so that he can't move.
Mhm.
There's no reason that adding ice to an ice thing wouldn't also, if you froze it to something, there's no
Yeah.
reason why it wouldn't stop him. So I'll let the movement speed thing will occur, but he takes, instead of taking damage, he's going to add that as temp HP.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So if that's all wits,
Yep.
these ones now are doing that same wavering thing. So you can see cracks formed across the Earth Elemental, to the point where it's almost like barely holding together. And the Firestorm Elemental, which was once this massive ball of flame, is now sort of shooting out embers in all directions and wavering. This dude looks buff as hell, though. He looks strong. But that brings us to Squealy.
Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna run over here. So I'm gonna kind of canter around the outskirts of the fight here. As I come by wits, I'm gonna jab out at the fire elemental on my way here.
Jab at the fire elemental.
Yep.
Very well. Yeah,
Let's
you got the reach to do that. So go for it. An 11 will miss.
Yeah, so we'll swing around and go for the butt.
Very well. That will hit.
Seven bludgeoning.
Very well.
And that's gonna be my turn.
The 7 bludgeoning will slam into the back of this elemental here and cause it to burst.
Nice.
No.
But
Nice.
you still melee attacked it, so it is going to still cause damage
Okay.
to Sybil and Wits, and honestly this dude too. You're not immune to fire. You're gonna take some too, bud.
It looks so
Oh,
sad.
Oh, he does look sad.
Let me pull that back up. What is that?
He's
Alright,
like,
chat.
"Aw."
3 fire damage each for the 3 of y'all. Alright.
Not doing so hot.
Wits doesn't care at this point.
Alrighty. Earthstone Elemental now looking real rough because it's not only cracking apart, it's also got part of it sort of melting into this molten slag of melted stone. But if that is all, Sequili.
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
Alright, then we'll skip right past the Firestorm Elemental as he is dead, and move right to Sybil. This is your turn now.
Oh, cool. Um, I need to heal myself and preferably not get
A good old whack.
Yeah. How about a whack? Nice.
Whack.
Some. Oh, you're kidding me. And some bonus action healing. Whew, nice.
Alrighty, you're healing yourself, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. And then Shillelagh 23 will hit and roll 5 damage. As you slam your staff into this fellow here, it's sort of the straw that broke the camel's back as it begins to sort of rumble and then crumble. And as the pieces of it fall across the forest floor, the yellow glow in its eyes just sort of fades, and it's now just a big pile of rubble and leaves.
Yeah, take that. Oh, I gotta do it again. Dang it. Oh, what rhymes with that?
Better hurry up, better hurry up. 5, 4, 3.
With my wooden bat.
Very good.
It's the most intense part of the game.
Alrighty, so that will shatter him, and we'll remove him from the turn order. So we actually pass right to to Lola. You're gonna get me up for the rest of the day on that, because you changed it so quickly. I was already like, okay, memorize the new characters' names, all good, all good. And then you swap it up on me, but I'll get used to it eventually. But it's your turn,
Like
Lola.
Lola was easier.
It's not remembering it. It's just that I had in my brain when I saw that picture, I had Pokey in my brain, and now I have to switch that over to Lola. Yeah, exactly. All right, but it's your turn. So what do you want to do? 2 of the creatures have just dissipated, but 1 still remains perched up high on top of this ice wall.
Be like, excuse me. And hold on, I gotta think of a pun real fast. With a vicious mockery, his ass, his butt.
Okay, so in the empty hand where you just threw your dagger, you're gonna pull out your musical instrument and cast some magic.
Oh. Yeah.
Very well.
Whoop, whoop. Vicious mockery.
All right, what is the wisdom of a oversized icicle? Not great.
I hope not good.
You have a 14. It rolled a 9, so it will fail.
Oh yeah, I'm good now.
All right, psychic damage. And disadvantage on this thing. I'll mark that down. He's sad. Because you made fun of him. Alrighty.
Sad sickle.
For the end of its next turn, perfect. Then, if that's all, Lola.
Yes.
Then that will be the end of your turn and bring us right to the Ice Storm Elemental. So Does it use anything to get out of Ram's Binding Ice? Let me double check. It uses an action here. Sorry, wits.
What happened?
Yeah, it's not gonna bother using an action to break out. It's just gonna stay in the ice. It likes it. I was just double checking if Ram's Binding Ice had an action requirement to break out of it, or if it was something else. But yeah, then nobody's around to break him out, so he's just gonna hang out.
Well, hold on. One of us may break him out.
What's that?
One of us could break him out.
I guess if he really wanted to, yeah.
He's like, hey,
But,
buddy, it's okay.
I think he's just kind of happy. He's perched up on his wall. He's doing his thing. He likes ice, so he's just gonna stay within your bound ice and not move at all. And instead is going to shoot some icicles. First one's gonna be at Sequili. So you've imposed your disadvantage on it, but it's already got disadvantage.
Extra.
We might as well be he might as well be at least a little bit tactical when he's making his attacks. We've already got disadvantage, so let's just use it. That will not hit. His first one was no good, so he's not gonna hit you. Well, then we'll do the second one. Against you, you just insulted him. He's mad. So he'll attack Lola for his second icicle attack. And a 17 will hit you.
Popsicle cunt. Oh, it's a bad word.
It'll hit you for another 3 cold. But that's all he's gonna do. He's gonna hang out on top of his wall. Which will bring us to Wets.
Hang on, let me have the right thing selected. Throw, knife.
Alright.
Throw, knife again.
It just clatters harmlessly against the ice and falls on your side right there. Then you throw a second one and it does the same thing. They land right beside each other.
Damn, now he doesn't have any knives to kill himself with.
Alright, if that's
All right.
all wits.
Wait, he wants to do one more thing.
Farewell.
He's gonna sit on the ground and cry.
Okay. You just still have Bardic Inspiration, so remember to use that at some point.
But don't I use that for damage rolls?
Not unless they're a College of Whispers bard.
The
Oh,
the inverse.
Yeah, which one do I use it for?
What's that?
Which one do I use it for?
Well, Lola can explain if she wants. Or I can.
Oh, I guess she doesn't.
I guess I can. Are you muted? Alright, I'll do it. It's basically for most things except damage rolls is sort of the idea.
Oh, okay. I had forgotten.
Ability checks, attack rolls, or saving throws. So your to hits or your to dodges or your ability checks outside of combat as well. But everything but the damage basically.
Okay. Okay. Well then, I guess I'll. Can I do it for that first one? Roll it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You haven't ended your turn yet, so I'll let you do it.
All right.
Since we have a new bard in the party, so we're not used to using bardic inspirations, I'll let you do it. What the heck is your AC again? That will actually still miss.
Yeah, I figured. Which is now prone, by the way,
Yeah, of course.
because he chose to.
Oh, you're now prone. You're lying down.
Yeah.
Very well.
He's done. He's had enough.
Sure. All right.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, yeah, that's genuinely good tactic.
Mechanically sound.
Yeah, can't complain about that. Then if that's the end of your turn, then Sequili.
Alright, you said this dude's like floating.
He was floating. He sort of floated up on top of his wall, and then Wit's frozen there, so he's now attached to the wall.
Okay, so he's like 10 feet up.
Yeah, about like the very bottom of him is 10 feet up, and then he extends about another maybe 7 feet above it to the top of his head.
All right. Then I'll just move forward to where I can make sure I can get in stabbing range
Yeah, for sure.
and go for a jab.
All right, go for it. Yep, that hits. Ooh. So
And-
with your basically your ice pick, you
Hell yeah.
stab away at the ice storm elemental and just chip off all the extra ice armor that Witch just gave it, and chip away a little bit at it as well.
all right, and then with my, actually, let me see. Got a hit with a weapon attack. Okay, yeah, I want to actually empower that since it hit with my divine smite.
Very well.
So as he stabs out, you'll notice kind of like a green magic aura surround the pike. And let's see, 2d8.
Yep. All right.
7 extra radiant.
As you stab the empowered pike into him, you see not only does that armor chip off and kind of fall into ice chips around you, you see that green energy hit it right in the chest, and then it spreads sort of like veins through him, and just sort of you see it disperse throughout him and cause even more damage, just ripping apart other parts of it, which almost evaporate out into the air.
All right, and then I'll yank the pike out of him and
Oh.
swing the butt.
Very well. That one will miss.
Yep.
So
And
you whip back around and strike with the blunt end, and it just clatters against ice.
yeah, and that's my turn.
Very well. Lots of damage. Alrighty. Firestorm Elemental's dead, so it is now Sybil's turn.
Cool. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna go in for another bonk. Nice. Okay, cool.
He is a little bit above you, I will say.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's up on top of the wall. The wall's still
How
there.
high?
The wall was
How
10
high is
feet.
it?
The wall was 10 feet.
Oh, it's 10
So-
feet?
so-
Okay, never mind.
so
Sorry,
he's
I
perched up there.
totally misunderstood.
I should have mentioned that when you moved, because I knew what you were going to do. So technically, I will let you undo the movement, since I should have
Okay.
clarified that.
Right.
Because I know
That's double Sybil's height.
I know why you moved there. So if you don't want to move there, because I know you did that just to do that, so you probably don't want to move anymore.
Yeah, no.
There, yeah. So it's up high. Again, like I said, 10 feet up is sort of where its almost legs would be, but it's more just kind of like a point of an icicle at the bottom of it. It was floating, but Wits solidified it to the ice wall. So now it's like a big turret up there, and the top of its head is about 7 feet above the ice wall, so it's about 17 feet up to its head.
That is ridiculous. Okay, this is a 40-foot range, so I'm gonna hit him with my pathetic little whip that even hits.
That doesn't hit, no.
Yeah, okay. Bonus action. Hey Lola, are you feeling well? Because I'm not sure if you're looking swell.
I'm a
Okay,
little
okay.
cold. That was a good one.
Cold. And how about, oh gosh, I'm sorry, it's new and I don't remember his name. Sakili.
Now what are you gonna rhyme with?
Really?
Now you gotta
What you
rhyme
gonna
with
rhyme
Sequili.
Wheelie, do a wheelie.
There we go.
Do really?
How you feeling?
Yeah, Sakili, how you feeling?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Good.
Alright, wait, what's to, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna use a bonus action, to heal Wits. Sure.
Wits not be willing in this healing.
He does not be willing.
He is
Does
not
he just
willing.
want to die now?
He's not
Dang,
happy.
It's a ghost on one, so he loses his entire will to live.
Wits is not happy right now. He willingly resists this heal.
How do you persist a heal?
Um,
Does he just like rip open the wound as soon as it closes?
for a spell like this, I'd say probably not. If she was trying to either lay on hands, if it was that kind of spell, or if she was like healing, like touching you with the spell, then I suppose you could probably try to slap her hand away. But for a spell where she's just sort of targeting you from far away, I'd say you probably can't resist it.
Okay, I was just gonna imagine like it's like a beam coming at him, and he just like uses ray of frost to like, deflect it. But no. All right, how much is it for? All right,
For you.
Sure.
fine. He'll accept it, but he's not gonna be happy about it.
Alright, if that is all Sybil, then it's now Lola's turn.
I'm gonna hide behind Wit. Out. And yeah, no, we'll do the usual. Okay, well, that's fine too, I guess.
All
I
right,
looked
well,
away, and I looked back, and I thought she just went up to me and used that on me.
Gotta kill him.
well, he fails it. So we will take your one psychic damage.
It wouldn't it technically still be 1 even if you failed it?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you passed it?
It doesn't still cause damage. It's just a cantrip.
Oh, okay.
But he will get disadvantage imposed on that first attack he does, and then he will take the one psychic. Is that all,
Oh!
Lola?
That's all. I'm behind Wit.
Alrighty. Then back to him, the Firestorm Elemental, who will worked out fine for him last time, so I think he's just gonna repeat that same thing. We'll attack Sequely with the first one. Already imposed disadvantage on it. Well, that first one hits. Let's see if the second one does. Second one does not. Alright, so he misses you once more. Sequely. And then, both of you are beat up. Both of you are at the same range.
Protection drops.
Okay. From what? Hang on. From what? What were you rolling it for?
I got hit by the first one, right?
Yeah, but he had disadvantage on it. I was just saying he rolled twice. The first one did technically hit you, but he rolled again and missed. So you're all good.
Oh,
got it.
so okay, never mind.
Yeah, that was just his first attack. He rolled twice to see if it would hit you. Yeah, so you're all good.
Gotcha.
Wits and Sybil. Odds and evens.
Yeah.
Odds and evens. One of you pick odds, one of you pick even.
Pick even.
Odds.
Alright, Sybil, you're taking the second attack.
Damn it.
The second attack will hit you for 6 cold.
Alright.
As he shoots another icicle, which begins to freeze you and you start to shiver. Which brings us right to Wits. Lola is kind of ducking behind you, Wits.
He's laying on the ground.
He's lying on the ground?
I crouch above you.
All right, yeah, you're lying on the ground, and she just sort of like bunkers down next to you. But what do you do,
Okay.
Wits, while you lie on the ground?
Well, it's a good question. You know what? He kind of sympathizes with him now. So
Ice
oh
friend.
god. Wits is gonna use Misty Step to teleport on top of the wall with him.
Okay. Just hanging out with my friend now.
What do you want me to do? Cast Ray of Frost on an ice monster?
Very well.
Okay.
Yeah, just switch sides. Just switch sides. Become his healer.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna ice knife Lola.
Oh no!
All right, if that's happening. Wit's entered my 10-foot range, so I'd like to react with my Polearm Master attack.
Do it. He'd rather you do that than not at this point.
You stab him, he just rolls off the wall and flops down.
I still have an action because that was a bonus action.
Yeah, technically. Just
Yeah.
could use your action to. What else could you do?
Well, I can't cast any spells.
There's probably something else you can do.
I could offer him an apple, I guess. I could throw an apple at him.
You could help somebody.
Could help, dodge, grapple, shove. I don't know.
Well, how would I shove him? He's my friend now.
You could.
Huh?
You could help. That's definitely a viable thing.
Okay.
You could help Sequili, basically. Give him advantage on his next attack against it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that.
So you see the Ice Storm Elemental's head, which kind of swivels on this pivot here, and it turns down towards you as you appear next to it, and you just kind of distract it as it looks down, kind of confused as to why you just did that. It just kind of stares at you for a moment, which will give Sequili advantage on his next attack, or I guess whoever attacks it next, as it focuses on you, but it'll be Sequili.
Yep, taking advantage of that.
Alright, so if that's the end of Wood's turn, then go ahead. Yeah, that hits. Roll your damage.
All right, 8 piercing off that first attack.
Yep. Chip more ice off with your pike, and then swing with the blunt end.
Yep.
Very well. That will hit as well. This time you swing hard enough to chip some ice off with the blunt end too. Another 7. Alrighty. So as you chip this ice off, now it sort of has all these fractures across its surface. It's missing, sort of part of its chest has been kind of cracked off and fallen to the ground. And it looks quite damaged.
All right, yeah. Soko is going to say, what should I say here? Return to nature, and that'll be my turn.
Very well. That brings us to Sybil. The large ice storm elemental is now looking rather damaged. What are you going to do, Sybil? That hits?
That hit? Nice, yeah. Okay, cool. I tap it.
You whip out your thorn whip, you fire it out, and just kind of catch the tip of it against the elemental, and just manage to scratch off a tiny piece of it, but not really do too much.
Managed to crack off a single ice cube.
Yeah, it falls into Squilly's drink below.
Chilled beverage.
So if that's all you want to do, Sybil.
Yeah, for now. My turn's over.
Very well. Then we roll back around to Lola. Lola, the person that you're sort of trying to crouch behind just vanished in a puff of mist and appeared up on top of the ice wall, leaving you just sort of standing there by yourself.
I'm hurt. No, I won't do that. I'm just now realizing I forgot to buy arrows. Well then.
I mean, you can have
Well,
you have a bow.
didn't pack well. It happened.
Shoot imaginary arrows.
I don't think there's any reason why you wouldn't carry arrows on you if you had a bow, unless you specifically want, because you think it's funny to RP that. But I'll let you add arrows to your inventory. There's no reason why you wouldn't carry arrows on you if you know how to use a bow. So I will allow you to add those arrows to your inventory right now if you want, like, just, I don't know, 15 of them. But if you want to RP that you forgot to buy them, that's also really funny. So I'll allow you to do that if you really want. Because you are a level 4 character, there's no reason why you wouldn't have arrows on you.
Gave my arrows. I can't do the humor. Okay.
Alright.
I'm shooting his ass. Whose butt?
Alright, you throw down your instrument and your sword and pull out your arrows, and you string up an arrow in your bow and fire it. Go for it.
Do it.
Yeah, that hits.
Woo! Woo!
Nice. The arrow lodges right into the eye of this elemental up here on the wall, and you see it cause this crack that just goes straight down its head all the way down to its body, and then cracks it clean in half from that one shot. And the pieces of it just sort of tumble off the wall. And as it begins to crack into pieces, it's sorry, this one's gone, by the way. It didn't really affect anything, but it is gone. As the elemental cracks into pieces, Wits, you feel the wall that you're lying on top of just sort of rumble. Do you want to do anything?
No.
All right, then the
Wait, I
walls.
should mention he's not standing on it. He's like sitting off of his feet, hanging off the side.
Yeah, exactly. I figured you weren't just standing up there. All right. So then the wall begins to crumble out from under you as the creature collapses, and you will take a little tumble off of it. You were hiding one.
Damn it, I was gonna take it.
So Krilly, do you want to catch him?
We don't know each other that well yet.
Very well.
Okay, good.
All right. You were incredibly high up. I'll just roll a d4 for bludgeoning. All right. 4 bludgeoning as you land. But other than that, the elementals around you have dispersed or collapsed into rubble. And as they do, Sylvia, you're closest to it. You see sort of that bright light that was pulsing beneath the earth just fade, and it turns back to normal earth. And the forest around you falls silent. So that's where we can end the session for today, since we're already well over 3 hours. And we'll pick right back up again here.
Alright.
That was a fun fight.
Also, Sybil, you're muted. Or you forget again.
I had fear.
Dang it.
Let me hear your war cry.
Alright, we can't go to the Theater of the Mind screen because that's the wrong portrait, so we'll go to this one instead. I'll update the portraits for next time. But it's actually a good thing that I didn't try to do it for this time, because I would have had to change the name tag, and that would have made me actually mad, because it takes an actual, like, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes to do that. So
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Hey, anyways.
I wouldn't have been mad at you. I just would have been frustrated. But I understand wanting your character to be named what you want them to be named, so I wouldn't be mad at you. But yeah. So, did you say that there was something that interferes with next week?
Oh yeah, next week I've got
Is the
exams.
15th, right? Okay, that's perfectly fine. I understand. It's definitely getting that way for a lot of players. We have a bunch of different people who are all going into exams, so I understand. We'll take that week off then. I might do a stream, just kind of a casual thing, but I definitely get it. All right. Yeah. So the 15th, we'll skip that one. I'll do another casual stream, hang out, do something fun, and we'll pick up again the next week. I think that's all the bookkeeping to do. That was a fun fight. The design philosophy behind that table of encounters from the D4 was to just have them be chaotic, hence the name Elemental Chaos. And so all the all the enemies that you were fighting, their stuff was sort of designed to conflict with each other and be all crazy, so that it was just chaos for both sides. So yeah. But
Yeah, I think the walls were a really good touch. Like that made you have to think more about what you're gonna do, what enemy you're going after, like stuff like that.
yeah,
I was
exactly.
separated.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the bard over there by herself.
Yeah, I was like, fuck.
She's gonna die.
I was like, I'm not a barbarian anymore. I can't do this alone.
It's a deployable dungeon.
But honestly, that fight actually showed the strengths of the new characters really well.
Yeah, I think so too.
So yeah, that was a ton of fun. But
So that Sequila can just do whatever he wants.
As long as I can keep up concentration, and they're one of those types of enemies, and that
Well,
gives me an advantage.
With
Otherwise,
17 AC, I feel like it would be much easier. keep
yeah, but I mean,
concentration.
just like 17 AC alone isn't that great.
yeah,
Like,
it's also against when it's attack rolling against you. So there's a lot of other things
Yeah.
that could have occurred there. He just got lucky with the ones he went and attacked. Because if it had been kind of switched around, there could have been some saves there that might have interfered with it.
Yeah, I was kind of having like my lay on hands on the back burner in case I really needed, to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun fight.
Oh, yeah.
Wits, I'll look into that ruling and make sure that I'm right.
Okay.
But otherwise, I'll do my little wrap up. If you want to find schedule changes, if we ever switch things around, change days, change times, you can follow me on Twitter at GrandLorian. There's the link. If you want to join our Discord, it is open to not just players, but anybody else. So feel free to join. We got meme channels, art channels, channels for all the different campaigns. So feel free to join if you want to be more involved. If you want to catch up on something you missed, you can check out the archive on YouTube. Link is there, but it's just GrandLorian on YouTube, spelled the same as it is here. And I upload all the VODs from here over there, so if you miss anything or want to go back and catch up, you can do so there. If you want to read more about the world that these campaigns and all the campaigns I run on my channel take place in, you can check out our World Anvil. The link is there. It's basically a wiki for factions, deities, characters, and places that all exist within the living world of GrandLorian. So if you want to do some extra reading, that would be the place to do it. It's always being updated, even though it does tend to take a while. So it's a slow process, but there's new things from time to time. So check that out. For reference, this campaign takes place in Kil Tahera, or the Phalanx. Specifically, they're just kind of outside Upper Loft within the Whisperweald Forest. If you want to check out that sort of area, there's maps and stuff there that you can reference. Other than that, if you have not followed and feel like doing so, helps out. We're going to do something interesting at 100 followers. So I think we're at 96 right now. So any little bit will get us closer to there. But yeah.
When's your game with Tavernaut is Tuesday, right?
Tuesdays, yes. I'm not sure if he's going to keep the time the same. Like, it probably will stay the same, which makes it 3 p.m. for EST people, which is a little early for a lot of people, I know. but VODs will be there.
Okay,
But
cool.
yeah,
I
that is
wanted to
on.
check that out.
Yeah, that's on Tavernot's channel. Spelled like tavern and astronaut combined. I am playing a half elven divination wizard named Lucy at
Nice.
an arcane college campaign using some of the stuff from the newly released Strixhaven. So it should be a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've been a player, so I'm looking forward to that. Plus, you know, divination wizard.
Oh boy.
I'm a divination wizard with Lucky.
Oh my god. Like, Tasty plays the same thing in my campaign.
Yeah, I talked to Tasty a little bit about it. It's just, sorry, DM, but no, you didn't roll that. That's the build.
Reality shifts and this happens instead.
I'm actually,
Yeah.
I'm brainstorming ways to like RP all that out. So that it makes more sense in universe why things are just randomly missing and connecting spontaneously.
Reality can be
Yeah.
whatever I want it to be.
For Lucy, I've sort of like homebrewed her spellbook and focus to be a little bit unique. So she uses like tarot cards as both spellbook and focus.
Oh, that's cool.
So rather than flipping pages in a spellbook, she just draws cards. And
for
each one is a different spell. I'm using the Taraka from Strahd as
nice.
a basis for it. So each spell has a different card assigned to it. So it should be fun.
You do like the divination or lucky kind of RP is like the was it the anime, like seeing all the different possibilities, like the character moving in different ways and stuff, and then honing in on the right one.
Sort of part of her backstory is that she thinks that something's watching out for her. You'll see more about that when we play, but as part of her backstory, and I'm trying to think of it like she's like the busybody sort of mom friend, so she's always like warning people about things. And so it'll be like them sort of taking her advice on little warnings that she gives them. So yeah, we'll see it all in action. But that starts up next week, so look forward to that. I am. And yeah. Other than that, I don't have much to add. But if you also go tune into that if you want to see some amazing art by our very own Charlie Choin. She did the art for all the characters in that campaign. So
Yeah. Oh, that was really fun.
yeah, I'm glad
Very good
that
characters.
worked out for you because that was everybody liked your art a lot. So. But yeah, that's all I have to say. So unless you guys have something to add,
Just have a good night.
Add the cheese command.
Good night.
Fair. Have a good night.
Ice cube.
Night.
All right, everybody. Take care and have a good night. And I will see you guys on the next stream, which will probably be Sunday for more Seas of Sand. Probably around 7 p.m. Eastern, but sometimes they change things. So I'll update if it changes. But yeah, other than that, have a good night and take care.